Well, hey, great to see you. This is Brett again. Hey, I wanted to talk about something that's on my mind, really because I just finished watching the Last Dance documentary, which was about the Michael Jordan Bulls, considered one of the greatest dynasties, one of the greatest teams of all time, especially, given they had one of the greatest players of all time, right? And one of the greatest coaches and all those different things. I just finished it. I'm sure, you may have heard about it at least. One of the things that really struck me was this concept that we talk a lot about, or at least I talk a lot about with my team. And it's this concept of remembering whose team you're on, remembering which team you're on. I think one of the tragedies of the Bulls dynasty was they left at the top, right? So a lot of the times that's very romantic sounding, is leaving, riding off in the sunset. But what's really sad is that you hear from the players and they say, man, I was ready to go chase after another title. They won 6 titles in a row, and they didn't, 6 out of 8 titles, and they didn't have a chance to go get the 7th. And so what does it mean when I say remember whose team you're on? I think a lot of times when things are going well, either at home or especially at work, some of the daggers come out, right? So you've probably seen some politics play out where you kind of have a person who seems they're not working together with the team. It seems maybe they're making decisions on their own. And so if you're that person, or if you struggle with that person, I want to talk about 3 areas, 3 tips that I can give you to help you understand and remember whose team you're on. Because again, we're all on the same team here. The first is your emotions. The second is your ego. And the third is your eyes. And so let's talk about those 3 areas, the 3 E's. First, with emotions. A lot of times when we feel like we're frustrated with our team, or when we're not remembering which team we're on, we want to maybe have them fail just out of spite or things like that, which again, I'm not sure if we'd ever say that publicly, but privately we start to feel that inside of our heart, inside of our brains. And so the first is your emotions. My guidance to you is find someone you can vent to. They don't necessarily have to be on your team. Maybe it's your spouse, maybe it's a partner, maybe it's someone else at work who maybe is not directly involved. But having just that vent release can be a great way to deal with some of those emotions. And so that person could also provide you with some wisdom to say, you probably shouldn't say that, or actually here's some truth behind what you're saying. What you typically don't want to do when you feel those emotions is go to your team and tell them, I don't think you guys are working hard enough, or I don't think you're doing X, Y, Z, because a lot of times that really causes a mortal wound to the team, and it's hard to get over that. The second is egos. I think we saw this definitely with the Bulls team, is that egos really got a hold of a lot of what the problems were. Is you have egos from the coaches, egos from the general managers, egos from the players, and they weren't really able to mesh those. And so my guidance to you, if you're struggling with that, just take a second back, take a pause, and think, do I really think I would have this success without the team? And if you say yes, then I would say pause and think again. Very rarely does success come about one person's work or one person's hard effort. Even Michael Jordan, again, the best basketball player in the world, for the first 10 years of his career, they never won the championship, right? So once he finally had the team put around him, he was able to see that success. So even if you're the best in your field, you have all those amazing attributes, take a second, remember that you can't do it without others around you. And you didn't get there without the help of others either. The last thing is your eyes. And so a lot of times whenever you're at the top, it's hard to see those around you, right? Because you're looking around and you don't see anyone else. And so you start to get outsized views of what's around you. So for you, maybe it's that other job or that other team or something else in your life where you can see, well, I'd rather be over there because what I can see looks pretty good. And so there's a phrase you've probably heard a lot of times. It's called the grass is greener on the other side, right? So I think a lot of times we think that the other side is better than what we're at now. And sometimes it is. I'm not saying that it isn't, but for a lot of us, we've got it pretty good. So take a second, take a step back, reflect on what things are good about your situation now. And I'll leave you with this. There's a second part of that phrase that you don't always hear. And it's that the grass is always greener on the other side because it's fertilized with manure. Sometimes people actually use a different word there, but since I'm on camera, I won't use it. But a lot of times it's fake, it's crap, it's things that aren't real that are fertilizing your views on the other side. So handle your emotions, handle your egos, check your egos, and then remember where your eyes are looking and keep them gazed at who your team is and what the end goal is. Thanks and have a great day.